Have you ever wondered how to create a custom competition in Football Manager? Hi guys, this is the What If League, and today I'm not going to do an experiment. Actually, this is going to be a how-to video about the Football Manager editor and how you can create a custom competition. If you have watched the videos in my channel, you probably have seen that I have done several videos with custom competitions. There is the series Super Leagues, where there are several national competitions as well as domestic cups, so it's a very interesting structure. There is also the Aspire Cup, which is an idea that has been requested by a viewer. And now today I'm going to show you how exactly this competition was made. So if you want to do something similar in your own saves, then you can go ahead and do that. So first of all, a shout out to Midnight Dreary. This is the user who has requested the Aspire Cup, and today I'm going to demonstrate how you can create a similar competition. So the first thing you need to do when you open your editor is you need to go to competitions. So if you follow what I'm doing on the screen, this should be fairly simple for you. In competitions, you can start with creating your own custom competition, clicking the add button, and then you need to specify names. So I'm going to just use the Aspire Cup as an example and just copy that in here and paste it into the short name. You need to also give it a 3-letter name. ASP works fine for me. You can select the colors of the competition. This is what you're going to see in the top pane of the Football Manager game when you go into the competition. I'm not going to change them now, but you can do whatever you want, whatever you feel would be most visually pleasing. The next is the nation and continent fields, and here if you're going to do a national competition, of course you need to select for which nation, and in this case the Aspire Cup is a continental competition, so I'm only going to use the continent field. I click search, add a condition, I'm going to search by name, and since this is a European competition, I just type in Europe. Select it from the results, OK, and there it is. Now, lowest official category allowed, you don't need to select anything there. Parent competition, since this is a one-off, actually not a one-off, but it's a independent competition, you don't need to worry about that, leave it empty. Reputation. It's not necessary to put a reputation for this, but just for the sake of it, I enter 100, and this is the reputation that I have given for the Aspire Cup as well. I prefer to have extra officials, so I always select that, but it's something that you can decide for yourself. Use seated grounds only. Again, this is something that you need to decide. Be sure not to mark is extinct. If you mark is extinct, then this is going to be a disabled competition. Next, you need to activate the type field, and then you need to select what type of competition it is. For example, the Super Leagues were all domestic divisions, and of course the Super League 1 was a domestic top division. Then you have the different types of cups, but in this case, if you want to do a competition which is in the nature of the Aspire Cup, what I have done, I have selected friendly or club friendly. Both of those would work, so you can work with those. I'm just going to leave it as club friendly here. Then competition level is only necessary if you're going to create tiered competitions where you have a top tier, second level tier, etc, etc. No need for us to do that. We don't need to use squad numbers, this is not necessary. Then the minimum and maximum pitch length and width, this is again something that you might want to consider. I personally don't find it interesting and have not used it yet. Those fields until the bottom are for regional divisions, and then you have for the winter bow color, start and end date. This is when you want to activate the usage of the winter bow. If you are creating a league where there is a lot of snowfall and games will be played during that snowfall, then you might want to select start and end date for when you expect the snow to begin. After you have done all of that, the other thing that you need to do, you need to create rules that are going to include this competition. So you go to the rules section and you click add club continental rules, since we want to create a continental club competition. In this screen at the very top, you need to select which continent you are currently going to edit, and we are focusing on Europe, so no need to change anything here. Select season update day. Now here you need to specify when the season ends and when the new season begins. In this case, for this competition, the Aspire Cup, it's a competition which takes place in the summer before the new season has begun. So what I have done here, I have selected June, and I have given, for example, the 10th of June as the season update day, which means that until the 10th of June it's considered current season. Afterwards, on the 11th of June, it's the new season. When you have selected this, you need to proceed to the qualification system here. So you go to qualification system, you select the nations that are going to be part of this club competition. So you click add and you select the nations that you want to be part of this competition. In this case, for the Aspire Cup, I need to select continent here, search for Europe, and then I find all the competitions that are in Europe. The Aspire Cup was involving only the top 5 leagues, so this means these 4. I select them. You can just press shift and then select multiple items in the editor. You click OK, and this is it. You now have your 8 nations being part of your new continental rules. Next, you need to go to teams, and in here you need to select which teams exactly are going to qualify. So what you need to do, you need to click add, and this is going to give you this section here at the top. What you could do is just click the tick box here at the very left hand, and this is going to load the fields in the section below. So for the Aspire Cup, the way that qualification was happening was that the champions of the second tier divisions qualified for the Aspire Cup after every season. How you can do that in the editor? You have type here, and this is the type of team that is going to qualify. So you can see the different types: nation top division team, nation FA Cup winner, specific team if you want to select a team that will qualify for the competition every year, for example. And you also have last winner of this competition, last winner of other competition. In the Aspire Cup case, it's the last winner of other competition. So you select this, and then you need to select what is this other competition. So in this case, you click search, other condition, then nation. For example, let's take England, right? And we have all the competitions in England, and we select the championship, and then OK, that's fine. We have that, so it's all good and done. We have the last winner of the competition will take place. Then we have to add another one, and actually let me go ahead and add all 8 of them. So this way I'm going to select these 7, change the type to last winner of other competition, and then all we have to do is actually we have to select the other competitions that are going to be involved. So let's start here. We need to select Spain. Okay, so in Spain we have Segunda División. Let's find it. I sort on reputation. This is the easiest way. So I find Segunda División. I click OK. Then we have here, we need to use, let's take Italy. Okay, again, sort by reputation, Italy, Serie B. Then the third one, the next one, the fourth one would be, which one to take? Let's take Portugal here. Okay. In Portugal, this is Liga Pro. Okay. Then we move on to the next one, which in our situation would be France. And I'm doing it completely random. In this case, oh, I clicked by mistake. So Ligue 2. Next one would be Netherlands. Okay. Eerste Divisie. This is easy here. Okay. Moving to Belgium. And we only have Germany left there. So we have Proximus League, all right. And the last one would be Bundesliga 2. So I would have to type Germany here in my filter to find all the German competitions and then sort them by reputation, select Bundesliga 2, and that is it. Now we have the teams that are going to compete. The rules have been set for them, which teams are going to be taken into this competition. We can go now to the Cups section. Keep in mind that at the moment we are editing the continental rules, so that's why we need to add the cup as such that it's going to be part of this set of rules. So you click the add button, and then you need to specify what cup you want to, So you see here we have created an empty space. So in this empty space you need to click on that and then select the competition. So as it's not already provided in this drop down menu, you need to search for it. I will just search with the name Aspire Cup. So we have it here. Select it, click OK. And then the number of teams that are going to compete. Since we already discussed it, these would be the winners of the top 8 second tier divisions. So we select 8. And we can move on to the stages section. In the stages section, you need to set practically how your competition is going to play out. In the Aspire Cup case, we had 3 different stages. We had quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, which means that I have to add 3 different stages. This is a knockout round, okay. So you can see the knockout round is now here. You need to select what type of stage it is. So it can be a knockout round, a group stage, league, or third place playoff. So it's a knockout round, and then you have the stage name. So the stage name, you can search for quarterfinals in here by name. I'm just going to say final so that we can see all of them, and we can find quarterfinal is here, okay. And the quarterfinal, number of teams starting at this stage. So all of the teams are starting, all 8 of them. Number of matches. Now, number of matches does not mean number of legs per quarterfinal. You have that in here, number of games, and we'll get to that. Number of matches means that how many games are going to be played at this round. If we have 8 competitors, this means we have 4 games. If you have 16 competitors, that would mean 8 games. So you have to be careful about that. Also, if you create a more complex cup competition where some of the teams start in one round, then some other teams are joining along the way in another round, it's a different story, and you need to be careful about that as well. You have to then work with the number of teams starting at this stage field. So in this case, number of matches 4, okay, match rules, extra time, penalties. I also like to include the ABBA penalty format. I'm a fan of that new addition to the football rules. Then seeding rules, seeded by division reputation. Do we want to see that or random teams? I prefer random teams, so there will be no seeding in this competition. And next we have the number of games. If you leave that field to 2, this means by default you would have home and away games, and for the quarterfinals of the Aspire Cup I didn't want that, so I selected only 1, which is eliminating, as you can see, a couple of fields there, and it leaves you with the date and time and stadium that this one game is going to be played. Now the date has to be after the season has ended and before the next season has begun. In this case, I selected the 22nd of July to be the first date, and the stadium, since there is going to be only 1 leg at this stage, it's going to be a neutral stadium. I don't want to give any advantage to any of the participants. If you also want to award prize money for winner, loser, or appearance money at this round, you can do that with these 3 fields. I personally did not do that, so the next thing you need to do is you need to add the additional stages. So this is the quarterfinal. Next we need to add another knockout round, and I'm going to add even the final one. We know that we are going to have 3 stages already. And let's move on and do the next one, which is going to be semi-final. So let's find semi-final here. We have semi-final, okay. You see that the filter from last time is still active. So semi-final is there. Number of teams starting at this stage. Since we don't have such a competition structure, you don't activate this field at all. Number of matches in the semi-final is 2. As we already discussed, this does not mean the legs of games. It only means, depending on how many teams are competing, how many games would that create. Since the semi-finals contain 4 teams, this means 2 games. Match rules, let's select the same rules here. Seeding rules, I don't want any seeding. Number of games, however, I want to then have 2 legs. The Aspire Cup has 1 leg in the quarterfinals, but 2 legs in the semi-final and final games. Then we need to select the date. So first leg of the semi-final, let's put it on the 27th of July. Then the second leg, I want to put it on the 31st of July. Okay. Prize money, I don't want to put any, so again I'm going to leave those empty. I'm okay with starting time at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I have left those as they are. And we move on to the final knockout round, which is going to be our final. We select final here. Number of teams starting at this stage is inactive. Number of matches, only 1 match. Match rules. Then we have same ABBA format added. Seeding. no seeding, although I'm not sure what seeding would mean in a final. Number of games, 2 games. I want the first leg and a second leg. This is kind of like the English Championship playoffs. Then let's see, the 31st was the last semi-final second leg. Then we have in August, let's have the first final leg on the 4th of August, or actually on the 5th of August, like that. And then the second leg would be on the 10th. So the competition is going to end on the 10th of August. Prize money for winner and for loser. So far I haven't really awarded any money, but for the Aspire Cup I actually put 5 million for the winner. Is this 5 million or 50 million? Did I overdo it? Yeah, I overdid it, so let me remove 1 0. And 1 million for the loser. Okay, so there it is. We have this now created, and the final thing that you need to check are the match rules and discipline rules for the continent, the Europe continent club competitions. First off, let's start with the match rules. Substitution rules. 3 from 7 is what I prefer. You can see that there are a lot of options. You can check them out and whatever you think would be best for your custom competition. I personally like 3 from 7. Then, if you want some additional match rules, and what do those mean? We have several options. You can see here we have match squad rules and playing 11 rules. All of those are related to the type of players that you can involve in those games, meaning foreign players, homegrown players, some youth players, or whatever rule you want to apply there. In the Aspire Cup case, there are no such rules, so I leave this empty. And you also have a maximum team size. This means if you want to force the teams to register their squad for the competition, just like the Champions League. I don't want to do that, so I have not enabled this as well. The last thing you need to do is check the discipline rules, and in here you need to make sure that you check both yellow card rules and red card suspension rules. So the sequence here is what type of yellow cards the players would accumulate before they reach a ban. So in this case you see 2, 3, 4, etc. and then you have different options. So make sure you check those, decide what would work best for your competition and then select that. You can then indicate how many games the player would be suspended after this ban kicks in. Then you see that you have an option for a second ban, so if you have stricter rules for accumulation of bans, and then a suspension start date. The red card rules are also very simple. You have several options: fixed number of games per red card, 2 game suspension for a red card after 2 reds, etc, etc. So you can select those. In the Aspire Cup case, the yellow and red card rules are exactly as you see them on the screen at the moment. And when you're done with the discipline rules, the last thing you need to do, if you want to add any other cups, you need to do that in the other cup section. If not, what I would always suggest strongly before you actually save this file is you go to the rules section and you click test rules. This way you know that your competition, okay, qualification system uses competition Jupiler Pro League but does not contain any rules for it. Let's have a look what is happening here. Alright, yes, absolutely. So here we need to make sure that we select that they qualify for the Aspire Cup. This is a big miss for me, so be careful with that, guys. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but you always need to select that the teams that you have selected. In this case, we have the last winner of the competition, which is Championship, Segunda División, etc, etc. And those teams would qualify for the Aspire Cup. So this is what needs to be done in order for your competition to work properly. And this is the good thing about testing your rules, because it's going to find out mistakes like that and it's going to give you a warning that it's not going to work. It's actually not a warning, it's an error, because it doesn't allow you to proceed. Once you have fixed all those errors, you need to go and test the rules again. And if everything is okay, you should get exactly this message: the current club continent rules are valid. Once you have that, you can go to File, Save Editor Data As, and you can save your file somewhere in your local system, and then you can load it in the game. Once you have exported your custom database, then all you need to do is, when you start your career game in Football Manager and you are about to create the setup for the leagues, you need to go to here, this database drop-down menu, and you need to select your new database file here. That way it's going to load that database into your new game. Afterwards, you just need to continue forward and everything should work fine. If you have some problems with that, please let me know in the comments and I'll try to help you out. And with that, I think this how-to guide is completed. I hope that you will find this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to do another how-to video of how to create something for Football Manager 2018. Thank you everybody for watching. Please like this video. If you haven't subscribed for my channel, please do so as well. That way you're going to receive notifications for when I upload new videos. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What do you guys think about this, and what else do you want to see? Thank you again for watching. Until the next time, bye.